Celtic Cup, Pete.
Sweaty Cup.
It's I've known you for years. It's been fantastic. In fact, wanted to show you something because I remembered I had something.
Is it a picture from camp?
It is.
Yeah, I remember that picture. Yeah. One of us protected the bald head with the cap.
That's right. You were the smarter person that year.
I was what?
You were the smarter person that year.
I just didn't want to get burnt.
So you've been in Muay Thai a long time.
A little while, yeah.
What inspired you to start Muay Thai?
I actually was afraid of it in the very beginning. So I didn't have martial arts around me growing up, and I got in a lot of fights growing up. I was a small kid. I went in the Marine Corps, and during my time in the Corps from 86 to 1990, I explored martial arts. Okinawan Kempo was my first art.
Okay.
And when I came home back to Illinois, where I'm actually from, in Illinois, I tried to find something similar, and I dabbled with Taekwondo, with Shotokan. Those weren't for me. And I found this martial art that was called Shaolama Chinese boxing that was actually Wing Chun with a little bit of Kali and Choi foot. And I did that. I didn't even know what Muay Thai really was at that point in time, even though the WTBA was TBA and was going strong. A lot of the guys in our circle were involved back in that time. So I wasn't in Wing Chun a real long time, a couple of years. I already started kickboxing, competing. I met a guy through my job who his cousin ran fights up in Chicago, was Rocky Troutman. And I went and watched one of the fights, and I was hooked, wanted to do it. No coach, no, just jumping head first. That wasn't very smart, but that's how it started. And, during that time of training and competing in kickboxing, one of my Wing Chun coaches was doing Muay Thai too. There was Muay Thai in my area. I just didn't know the guy. It was Dave Rogers. If you know Dave. Do you remember Dave Rogers? He was my first crew.
Okay.
And so he was doing it not far from where I lived. And my coach in Wing Chun was doing that, and he talked about going to seminars and getting his legs just beat up. And I'm already thinking, well, that's not a very smart thing to do. I didn't have any desire to experiment with that. And then I promoted my first kickboxing show in 1993.
Okay.
And I only fought a few times, already wanted to go jump in head first and promote shows too. No one was doing it where I was at in central Illinois. Just in Chicago, they were, 2.5, 3 hours north. And so I did it. And on that card, I had one Muay Thai fight. Okay. And this is what led me more into it, and also what scared me. It was Kwame Stevens and Ed Markey. And, this was the Illinois State University Redbird Arena where they had the college sports at, and it was 11,000 seating arena. I only had 1,000 in there, but it was still cool. Just looked empty. And they came out for their fight. There was no commission, no rules. We had full rules Muay Thai, no pads, just the gloves. Ed Markey came out of that locker room walking to the ring, smelling like he bathed in Naman Muay for a month. I'd never smelled that before. It was amazing. And Kwame did not. Those two banged so hard, just 3 rounds. But they literally banged shins once, and it sounded like 2 rams butting horns, right? It echoed through the arena. And my jaw dropped. I'm like, how are they both standing up? It just amazed me. So I wanted to look into it more. And I dabbled some with Dave, with my coach Rob, one of my good friends from the Wing Chun. I did things, but I still competed in kickboxing only. Okay. It wasn't until 1999 that I actually was out in San Diego at a knife fighting instructor's workshop under Paul Vunak, another one of my coaches at the time. And I met 3 guys from Chicago, just 2.5 hours north of me, out there for the same course. And one of the guys, Peter Farias, asked me if I knew anybody that taught Muay Thai. He wanted to learn Muay Thai.
Okay. I'm
like, well, I do. I know this guy named Dave Rogers. He's kind of in the middle between us two. We could meet him. And we did. And we started going there. And then it was not a few more months, I met Ajahn Chai at a seminar in Evansville, Indiana. And I'm already fighting, and Peter fought. And I remember Chai telling me that, so you kind of cocky. And I didn't think that I was acting cocky, but I don't know, just that persona from a fighter, I guess, And so anyway, we did the seminar, and it was great. We got beat up a little bit during Bob and Weave. You know how it went back then.
Oh, yeah.
And that was my first real taste of Muay Thai. And I just got hooked. And with promoting shows, kickboxing, fighting kickboxing, studying Muay Thai now, just how infectious Ajahn Chai's personality is, and just the discipline that he puts forth was infectious to me. I witnessed things that blew me away. How he changed lives, right, through discipline, through push-ups,
Yes.
and it just showed me that this is the art I need to be more involved with. And this is the person I need to study under. And that's how it kind of began for me for Muay Thai. So again, it was a slow start for about a period of 6-7 years there, just dabbled until 99. And then it was full-blown Muay Thai.
Sweet.
So that's the beginnings.
Okay. Is there any stories that stand out in your head when you first started that, just kind of left that awesome, but, maybe hard training scar in your head?
Well, first was just witness that fight, but actually, two things, not really scar, but two things. One was the push-ups with Ajahn Chai. My very first seminar, they're 2-day seminars. You pay to go there. And this was with Jeff Westfall, ran Rising Phoenix Muay Thai martial arts in Evansville, Indiana. And so I'm there. I'm expecting to do Muay Thai and learn this stuff. I'm all in. And this one young kid I think his name was Jason. Honestly, it might be the right name. 19, under Jeff Westfall, right there at the home gym. And Ajahn Chai asked him, he says, "So what's your name?" You know how his accent is. And the kid just goes, "Jason." There was no why. There was no sir. Just Jason. And I don't know Ajahn Chai yet, but I'm already thinking, oh, this can't be good. And just seeing him and understanding, feeling his presence and just that presence he put out. It was just, it was just an aura, just a something about him.
Oh, yeah.
You just had to respect him. And so this kid, Jason, and Ajahn Chai kind of looks around with that look he has, and he said, "What's your name, sir?" And the kid said, "Jason." And he said, "Who your instructor?" And the kid said, "Jeff." Not Crew Westfall, not Crew Jeff, just Jeff. And I'm like, oh boy. And Ajahn Chai said, "Sir, 1,500 push-up." Oh. Not 1,500. He didn't mess around. I remember this day clearly. 1,500. He said, "Crew Jeff, you count." I saw a face on Jeff's look in Jeff's face. He's just, So this kid started doing push-ups. And this was like at 10 in the morning on the Saturday. He did push-ups all day long. He got a lunch break, but he was still going. He came back the next day and wasn't done. Still did push-ups starting out. He went almost that full day. He finished all 1,500 push-ups. And I thought to myself, this kid had to do push-ups. He got stronger. He got sore. I'll never see him again. He's done. Who's going to pay to go do push-ups and to be told to do push-ups, He was there. I came back the next year. He was there. A different person. I went, holy cow. That's what I got to be doing. This is the guy. I would think to myself, I wouldn't have came back.
Right.
Maybe I would have, but I'm thinking to myself, and just the stories like that you hear him tell, giving Cowboy Cerrone, Donald Cerrone push-ups at camp, giving Guru Dan push-ups, just people respected him and did those. So it wasn't scarring, but it stands out in my mind. And then, I remember I'd started and I still had a title fight in kickboxing coming up in 2001. And so I went to a Muay Thai camp in Peoria with Dean Lacey and Ryan Blackerby teaching it.
Okay.
And they let me not do knees and not do leg kicks for the camp just because I had the fight coming up. And it was a 7-round fight in St. Louis, and it was above the waist rules.
Okay.
And so I got prepared hard for that. That camp was great. Dean knocked me down with a round kick to the face when I tried a spinning back kick, this 6'4" giant, right? And it was a humbling camp. It was a hard camp, and they did a great job teaching it. I went to the fight. I won all 7 rounds. I broke my foot on his elbow, so I was sore. And then during that time leading up to that, Ajahn Chai wanted Peter and I to test for crew already. So we were going to camp, and I had to be at seminar. I had to be there in Emmetsville the next month, whatever it was. So Dave had to get me ready for that test, and Crew Dave. And so we're doing rounds, and I literally could not kick. I could not kick the pads. I was so injured, and my shins were even banged up, even though it wasn't Muay Thai. And that moment, so I couldn't do something. I didn't do some test. I had to come back I made the test. I was on Chai, but I couldn't do something with Dave. I forgot what it was now. I was so injured. It made me realize the importance of shin conditioning and just beating those pads, beating those bags, and putting more effort into Muay Thai and that round kick to prepare my shins for what was coming up.
Yeah.
So just to me, I think there wasn't a scarring thing, but just there was realizations for me.
Yeah.
That let me know I was in the right martial art now, that what I wanted to really focus on.
Yeah. The Muay Thai definitely offers that realism, that authenticity.
Yeah. Yeah.
During your fight time, is there any fighters that inspired you to mimic their style or learn from their personal flair?
During that time, there weren't a lot of people out there to watch because the internet wasn't happening, right? And not in the early 90s and mid 90s. And then, the 2000s, fine. I'm with Dean. Ramon Deckers was the man to me because he was just, and I was the opposite. I was more of a Muay Thai. I moved around. I made them miss and then hit them. I didn't like getting hit. I was okay getting hit, but I didn't enjoy it. So I tried to make them miss a lot. I played a lot of defense. I played the counter fighter. I teeped a lot. That was my main thing. But I still Ramon Deckers' intensity, aggression, training regimen, all of that inspired me. I just was amazed by him. And he was just so like a machine, he was a machine. And I wanted to be like that. I just couldn't pull it out. Okay. So I ended up being more of not to compare myself to him and by any means, but more of a Sanchai back then. I just moved more, okay. I tried to trick him, set him up, make him miss and hit him. To me, that was my style. So you look at today, with Sanchai, that was kind of what I did without the flair. But I really admired Ramon Deckers and his style.
Oh yeah, he was a steam train.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, back then we fought. We didn't have videos to go watch. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have social media. You were lucky to fight the person the promoter said you were going to fight. I showed up. My guy didn't show up. Somebody else's guy didn't show up. We just fought. And I fought out of weight class several times, fought heavier. I fought a guy lighter one time, fought heavier 3 or 4 times. It's just how it was back then. And you couldn't watch to prepare. You just had to make your own game better.
Yeah. I remember going to the Asian store, and they would have Muay Thai fights from both Thailand and Cambodia, and sometimes from Laos. I could pick them up on VHS.
The big old, yeah. Most of your listeners probably won't know what that is.
It's probably true.
This is very
the only place to find it back then.
What's that, Kelly?
Oh, I was just saying this is very eye-opening and inspiring, just knowing, because I'm so used to having the resources, to watch and all that. But yeah, definitely not something to take for granted anymore, for sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, what inspired you to start the promotion?
So I was already promoting in Illinois when I was there, just one-off shows, not tournaments. And one partner of mine, Jeff DeVore, a good friend of mine, we decided to do tough man contests. We called it the King of the Ring, 2-day contests. They were a blast. Just like Art Door's tough man. I fought in a tough man contest in 1998. And Art Door was there. It was in Decatur, Illinois, and that was an experience in itself. So, promoting shows, and then I moved to Iowa on a job transfer and started Muay Thai there. Met Pam. We opened up a gym. I'm training fighters. We're now taking teams to production shows around the area. We start promoting our shows again with her now in 2005. And we were going to tournaments for IKF, to Florida, wherever else. And when you go to those tournaments, you have Muay Thai, international rules, which is low kick, and then above the waist FCR rules, right?
Yep.
And Muay Thai was not as, in the Midwest, not as prominent and flourishing as kickboxing. There wasn't that as much out there.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get Muay Thai fights in your bracket. Many times we had to either fight all the way to full contact rules above the waist, like I fought in, or we had to fight in at least low kick and give up knees and clinch. So at this point, I was all into Muay Thai. So I wanted them to get that experience. I was teaching that. I was teaching kickboxing. So we're at a seminar, and that was always troubling to me, not getting Muay Thai. So, and IKF was the only really tournament around that was really promoting it. WKA was there, but Steve Austin was really promoting that. And Deem take teams there. I met a lot of people in the Midwest in Muay Thai gyms from going to IKF tournaments. So,
Okay.
Well, I'm at a seminar for Ajahn Chai in Minnesota at Minnesota College Group with Rick Fay. And we're at dinner this Saturday night, and we're talking. And I asked Ajahn Chai, I said, sir, you train a lot of world champions. And why does TBA not have a sanctioning body? Why do we not promote fights or tournaments? All of your champions are going to tournaments where they have to maybe give up their rule sets just to get a fight. We need to promote more just solid, good Muay Thai. And he told me the timing was never right, that he often thought about it, but wasn't right. And he goes, so you set up fight? And I said, yes, sir. We promote fights. We set up fights. He goes, timing's right. Suppose you do it. Okay. So, I never thought about a tournament before. And Pam and I right then went back home. This was in 06. Or 06. Went back home early 06 and actually 05. And then in 06, we started this, the TBASA. We developed it. It's a separate entity from the TBA, which we know now is WTBA, but TBA then. So Ajahn Chai wasn't involved, which is how he won it, but he was still our guest every tournament. He still, put the belts on the champions on the Sundays. He's not missed a single tournament all those years since 07. We had a tournament in 06 with 2-day tournament, 4-man brackets, which was cool. But the TBASA tournament, the Muay Thai Classic, we called it then, actually the inaugural event was a 1-day tournament in 2007 in June. And it just went from there. So it was really him saying, you do it. And so just, Pam has a background in business, in graphic design, and she likes to coordinate events. I have the background in Muay Thai at that point, and I had already done officiating over those years. I'd already promoted, fight managed, refereed, judged, fought, all those aspects. Just no tournaments. So it just came together. And we already had following the WTBA or TBA. So that was our main market to promote the tournament.
Okay.
And then Canada came down, and it just grew. Those early years, it was joked around that it was the Canadian Nationals because Canada had no option for that up there. And we're not that far away from the border. And Ontario is full of Muay Thai, and they just all came down.
Okay.
And they were kicking our butts, America, just kicking them. But we didn't know how to score back then correctly. We thought a throw in the clinch was a big score.
Yeah.
Some thought that body kicks scored higher than leg kicks or punches to the head, and it wasn't true. all these misunderstandings. But it all smoothed out over the course of the years, and that's where we began. It was just Ajahn Chai's blessing, and then we just did it. And it was trial by fire and OJT, but look where it is today. So something worked right.
Yeah. And your show is ran so smooth now. I mean, it's like a really well-oiled machine. Was there any issues you had starting that up? Was there any discombobulation when it first started? Because it does run very well now.
Well, Kelly might appreciate this. This is because we have a woman in charge.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true. I've watched tournaments where men are in charge, and I've experienced this tournament where Pam is in charge of the organizational side. I'm in charge, getting the rings done and running the fights ringside and running the officials. And I answer any issues or field any issues with, well, I got robbed or I lost issue, whatever. I deal with that stuff. She deals with other things like, just the back behind the scenes stuff, all the other stuff. So my job is really minor compared to hers, honestly. And her job is full time for like 9 months out of the year, preparing for that next year. And every year we listen to the fighters, we get feedback, and we, look at that year, evaluate it, and go, let's improve this. Let's change this. Let's take that out. Let's adopt this. So it's over the years, we've just, we have hiccups behind the scenes that most of you all don't see out there. We try to stop that and take care of it before people see it. So we may think we had a bad year, but most everybody else thinks it ran really smooth. And, it can still be improved now today. We all still find things we can improve on. We always try to. I just feel like, Pam and I are top page, bottom page a lot, and we bicker a lot. But when it comes to that tournament, once we get there and get it going, we work. We're on the same page, the same paragraph, same sentence, same word, and it just works. Awesome. But a lot of it's from her. She's just organizationally smooth. And we've experienced IKF being in line to weigh in for hours upon hours.
I've been there.
So she figured out, we need to have schedule times they come in and structure that. And you're not in there any longer than 20, 30 minutes. You're through the whole process.
Oh, yeah. It's quick.
Yeah. And then we've developed a staff over these years of people close to us, some in Muay Thai, some just friends, not, she calls the Muay Thai minions, and mostly females. But then Justin, our announcer, they just make things run smooth. They all know what we want, what we expect. They're in meetings, and it just runs.
That's awesome.
I can't explain it. It just does.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the combining forces, that is really awesome to know more about.
No other tournament has that dynamic, and I don't know why they can't figure it out. I think it's because men are trying to run it. I really do believe that. No offense to them. They're good people, these other men, but they don't have the extra stuff that a female has. The desire to do it right, to do it not perfect, but as close as you can get. Details matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it definitely shows.
Thank you.
And you have some shows coming up.
Yeah. You mean like the one in your area?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the June tournament, obviously the expo, it was Muay Thai Classic. Now it's TBA Classic, World Muay Thai Expo. That's every June. That's the big one. That's the one that's one of the biggest in the world now. It's bigger than anything in South America, but it's big. We started the Rev Gear Tournament of Champions several years ago. I think it was like 15 maybe, or something like 16. We started that. And that was always been a smaller tournament. It never was intended to be as big or compete with June, but we'll get 200 to 300 people in there fighting. It's okay. It's good. We need something in between, not just to go a whole year, right? Yeah. And that was always in October. We had a couple in March. This year we had it in March instead of last October. And so we had been approached about doing Muay Thai at the Arnold's Classic, Arnold's Sports Festival before in the past. And it just never transpired for whatever reasons. And I know they've had Muay Thai in the past and it's not went exceptionally well. They've had kickboxing. It's not really went well. In fact, last year they had kickboxing. They only had like 17 fights total.
Yeah.
That's almost embarrassing. So I don't know what the reasons were or what. I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate. We got asked again this time, and we were asked because the gentleman, Troy, that's in charge of getting the combat sports orgs into the Arnolds this year. He's been promoting. He's worked with the Arnolds for like 32 years, been involved a long time, and he's a promoter in Ohio. Okay. And we've now sanctioned in Ohio, in Columbus area, twice. One more coming up. We've sanctioned in Akron with Ryan Madigan. We're maybe sanctioning with somebody else a little further north of Columbus coming up, potentially in November. We don't know yet. We got to confirm. So Ohio's getting Muay Thai, and they haven't had that really before. You guys are there training, but they had options to compete, right? Yeah. Until recently, and now it's going well. So the Arnold's is always in Columbus, and their contract is this year, one more year. So we got approached by Troy to do this, and we had meetings. We thought, you know what? If we don't do it, somebody else is going to. And our first thought was, it's not going to be a moneymaker. It's not a June tournament. It might be a wash. But I think the Arnold's needs to have good Muay Thai at their events. And all egos aside, I think we're the ones to bring it there. Because we respect earlier the organizational side of things, we can do this thing right. And so we accepted. And the registrations are going to open up here soon, very soon. This will be like a tournament of champions size. We don't expect it to be huge, but we're going to see Muay Thai. And the Arnold's is actually, it's not the Olympics, but the festival and the sports is actually bigger than the Olympics. The Arnold's is they operate in 7 or 8 countries, but it's all around the same time frame. We can't do all those at once. We'd like to, we can't. Let's just spread out. But the Arnold's had, like last year, they had, I think, 60 sporting events there. Olympics is like 42.
That's huge.
They had 80 countries, over 80 countries attend in Ohio last year, 80 nations. Olympics had, I think, 60 last Olympics. So from a standpoint of number of sporting events and number of countries taking teams there, the Arnold's is bigger in Ohio. Yeah. It's the biggest one of the Arnold's across the world. And that convention center in Columbus is humongous. I went there to visit to make sure we're in the right. It's humongous. And the number of attendees is like 30,000 or more over that weekend. So we have our own hall on Short North Ballroom area in that Columbus, in that convention center. And we have the whole ballroom. We're going to set up so we have 2 to 3 rings, depending on registrations, on one half of the ballroom. Seats in the middle turn both ways, and over on this side have open mats for a scrimmage. So scrimmages are big now with the MDLs, with WBC and Patrick Rivera, with TBSA's youth scrimmages. They're really the same kind of format, and I'm in charge of officials for both. So they're all getting work. I want to, the tournament champions is not, and March is not a big time frame for youth where the summer is, right? And there's not as many youth as there is adults. So there's no point opening up youth divisions as high, like we did in June. We can have a scrimmage and have youth do no head strikes, light head strikes, have seniors do none and light head strikes, and have those be no win or lose. They're just learning, and they're getting them grade report cards, and they're developing. So the public is going to be able to see the developmental side of Muay Thai that leads up to the fight side of Muay Thai, all in the same ballroom. I think it's going to be amazing.
That's great.
And so that's our goals for the Arnold's coming up in next March.
Oh, it's so exciting.
And then, of course, June will be the expo again, right? Yeah. So in Iowa. So, yeah, those are coming up. I I've got things coming up with WBC as well, with the Amazing Muay Thai Festival in Monterrey, Mexico in November, and in Bangkok, Thailand in February. So just a lot coming up.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, in each of these, are you going to have all 3 classes, the A, B, and C class?
Yes, we are going to have A, B, and C at the Arnold as well.
Okay.
On the fight side where the rings are at. Yes, correct.
Yeah. And
I think
so
we're going to allow 16, 17-year-olds to have a choice to go into the fight side too.
okay.
But also some can go to the scrimmage side as well.
Very cool.
They kind of overlap a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So pros will be able to do the open class then.
We're tackling that right now. We have to get that approved with the Ohio Commission, but because there's no, and that's being handled today, I believe, with no purse being involved, they're fighting in pads under amateur rules. We believe there's not going to be any issue. Like in Iowa, we can do that, right? We just got to make sure, because really the reason pros can do that, we allow that, is because they have that international scouting opportunity now for teams to go overseas to fight for Team USA with USA Muay Thai or with WBC or anybody else that takes teams now internationally, right?
Yeah.
It also makes the amateurs that are true amateurs better to fight that level.
Yeah.
So it's just great, it's just a great division. Really tests the person. So hopefully we'll know this week if that's going to be okay, and then we'll move forward. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to highlight you as a teacher because you've been teaching for a long time.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I've seen some of the highlights of your gym. You run some really cool programs out of there.
I've been teaching since '93. That was my first gym I opened up, and that was a small gym in Leroy, Illinois. It was mainly Wing Chun. And then I started competing in kickboxing, doing more Muay Thai, that I migrated. I ended up moving to gym later, and then closing that gym down and going into Decatur, Illinois, and teaching out of a gym at Jeff DeVore's, and then moving to Iowa, opening that gym up. So I've been teaching a long time. In the beginning, it was a one-stop shop. We had, like most gyms today, we had Muay Thai, we had Bandu karate, I have degrees in that as well. We had, and Kempo Jitsu, we had a Kali, JKD, Wing Chun, those concept arts I taught, and then fitness classes, and we had youth and adults, and jiu-jitsu came in, but it was more, what do we call it then? Shoot wrestling, or no-gi jiu-jitsu. It wasn't, we call it grappling. It wasn't with the gi on at that time.
Okay.
I mean, it really came into C93, right, with UFC. Yeah. And then jiu-jitsu itself, BJJ, didn't really start flourishing and taking a hold here till years later. And I don't have a strong rank in jiu-jitsu. I just never got that far. I was too busy with other things. But we had all that in our gym. And over the years, that just changed. And today I just have straight Muay Thai for the kids and the adults. And we do a ramped program, fitness before Muay Thai to warm up. That's like during COVID, we needed something to work out with. And I developed a 30-minute audio workout on the bags, kind of like Boss Rutan had back in the day.
Yeah.
I just took it a step further and made it for Muay Thai, and made it 8 3-minute rounds or 7 3-minute rounds, the rest in between, all half our workouts. And I have like 60 plus tracks right now, different variations of Muay Thai, fitness, of boxing, of whatever. So you're never getting bored, and it's intense.
That's fantastic.
So,
yeah, that's fantastic. And it's fun to watch somebody as a high caliber teacher as you are run a promotion, because then you really understand both sides of that.
I think it's important, honestly. A lot of promoters that promote shows never were really an athlete, or they were not in Muay Thai. They were in traditional martial arts and just promoted. And many of them were in the sport but didn't fight. I've been fortunate over these 3 decades to dabble in every aspect of the art and the fight and the sport game, from student, we're always students, right? We'll never stop being students.
Always.
But student, teacher, call it coach now. It's funny how things change and terms change with sports and times. But athlete, promoter, fight manager, official, sanctioning body. You know, I think it's pretty much all of them that are really in the sport. But I've been able to do all of those at some point. So I've got to see all aspects of the fight game and experience the highs and the lows of the pros and the cons. And now today, my passion is really officiating, you know, and teaching and developing officials. So I'm teaching running my gym still, but I'm 56 years old. I want a retirement plan, right? And yeah. I can teach officials till I'm 80 years old. I don't, I got a lot of time for that. So for me, that's my passion now, is trying to develop officials in our country. And since these last 2 years, doing the intensive three-day courses for Muay Thai officials, I've had about 200 go through that intensive. Roughly. I've got more coming up. I've got one next weekend in Texas, our third one there. I've got one in Canada, the end of October now, Ontario. And I've got one potentially in Ohio, mid-November.
Awesome.
This got to get confirmed yet. Then I've got one more in Maryland again, first weekend in December, and right back here to my gym for one again next weekend in December. I've got one already scheduled in February back in Oklahoma again. I'll be teaching a seminar more than likely either in Mexico at WBC or in Bangkok at WBC, November and February. And my intention is to do one of these, 1 to 2 every single month in 2024, because we need it. We need to develop. And the really neat thing and fortunate thing being involved with WBC also now is they're open to all of this, and they don't care that I'm TBASA first, but by being able to dual certify and cross-train officials, that means all the ones that are getting trained have more opportunities to get work and to develop through scrimmages, MDLs, our scrimmages, fights everywhere. It just makes sense. It's a very good partnership in that respect. And there's a huge disconnect worldwide from what Muay Thai rules are, what the written rules actually state with all 4 main organizations outside of Thailand, from Thailand, and what high-level fighters and coaches see and do via social media in their fights. It's not together. And so I'm in the middle of trying to coordinate all of that and get it right, so everyone understands it the way it's supposed to be. So that's a long uphill battle, but that's my passion. I want to make sure we're going the right way. So,
well, from everything I've seen, you are definitely the man for the job.
I don't know about that. I'm one of them, but right now I'm the only one doing it. That's just to me, that's crazy. But hopefully, me doing this will set others up to do it soon. And we're all trained some to do it with me in my organization and keep going. But I'm hoping to spark something with people across the whole world, that in Muay Thai, that they'll realize the need for this and they'll start doing it. Hopefully that will take hold and spread. We'll see.
It's such a huge contribution that you're making to just building the community in general, and making that community a little bit more close knit, which is, very, very interesting to see, but yeah, that's so much you're doing. It's crazy.
It's fun. I think this is no big deal. I'm a humble person. And I think, okay, I'm doing this, but there are people that know more than me and they're doing things too. But I'm trying to do something here. And then other side of that is, I think, it's kind of surreal because I am doing it. Nobody else is doing it. It's starting to take hold. And it honestly is, it's my contribution back, because I can't always teach this forever. Not that I even want to, but I can teach that. And I think that's the way to go right now, is bridging that gap in the knowledge and developmental stage of our industry, our community. And it's neat to sit back and go, wow, this is happening. This is actually happening. It's being received well. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of surreal.
That's awesome. Well, I hope we can help propagate that for you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. I know you're busy and I don't want to take up the rest of your day, but I do want to thank you for your time. And
Appreciate that. Yeah. Thanks for
oh,
being
thank
on.
you.
And the
Thank you.
inaugural one too. That's kind of cool.
Yes, this is the very first one. Thank you for helping us launch this newsletter. And it was a fantastic interview.
Appreciate that. You know, and I think that this is a good idea what you're doing. And there are so many athletes, coaches, organizations out there that you'll be interviewing that people can benefit from listening to. There's so many good people in Muay Thai, so many high level athletes, high level coaches. You know this,
Yeah.
and it's just really a really neat, cool, gratifying industry and community to be a part of. You're seeing what I'm seeing, and it's just really neat. I appreciate you guys having me on for this first one, and I just know you continue. You're gonna get a lot out of everyone else you guys interview. There's so many people that are great out there, including yourself.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And thank you again for your time
Yes, sir.
and your dedication.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Soti Cup.
Cup.